For some reason, outdoor furniture tend to be ugly. We spend so much time decorating our homes with the most beautiful furniture, and then for the outside, we just slap a couple of pallets together and add a cushion. Today I'm changing that, I hope, or at least I might be able to give you a thinker. I'll try to make this as affordable as I can, and don't worry, I'm not using pallets.
No!
And I'll tell you why this is where the money is. It was late March and the temperature in Sweden was tolerable. So I took my coffee outside and found myself standing on the wooden deck outside our door. I saw the old bench that's been there for ages. It hardly stands on its own and it has no backrest. Why do we not use backrest for a lot of outdoor furniture? I just turned around and walked back in again. I'm not standing drinking my coffee. I'm not an animal. Drawing up furniture is hard. I mean, coming up with a design that actually looks good enough. The goal for this build is to make something that anyone can make with materials available locally. To find inspiration, I normally look at other stuff that I'm making, and in this case, chairs. A chair usually has a backrest, and let's be honest, a bench is just a stretched out chair to accommodate more butts. In a row. Butts in a row. That's probably the name of this bench. After coming up with a design I like, I go through the toughest critic I know to give me pointers, my wife. This time the conversation actually went something like this. I was thinking of making a bench for us to sit on outside the door. And she replied, it would be great if you could make something with storage for pillows in the seat. Which was totally not what I had envisioned myself building. So when I showed the design to my wife this time, I wasn't expecting praise, but she actually approved. When the design was done, I decided to go get wood. I kind of live in the middle of nowhere, so where I go to buy lumber, they stock some pre-milled pine and oak, but that's about it. I wouldn't say that's the cheapest option, but for me, it was the easiest route to go. By my calculations, making this bench would require two 33mm thick and 118mm wide and three 21mm thick and 167mm wide boards. All 2.4 meters long. Every now and then I get critical comments about the tools I use. And it's become this thing where content creators won't use the tools they have because it might turn some of the viewers off. Well, here's what I think. I didn't start out with a bunch of tools. I started out with extremely basic tools when I started learning woodworking. In fact, most of them were things I inherited from my father, and he didn't have the fancy stuff either. As I progressed in woodworking though, I started looking into things that would make it easier for me. Things that I wanted to invest in as my passion for woodworking grew. You probably know what I mean. There are mainly two groups of comments. One of them are about how it's easy doing what I do with the tools that I have. And yes, it will be easier with some of them for sure. But most of the time, the tools just make it quicker or easier in some ways, but it doesn't mean it's impossible to make it without them. Take this for instance. I'm using the Shaper Origin, a handheld CNC to cut out a template of one of the legs for the bench. Before I had the Shaper, I used to print the design onto several pieces of paper, tape them together, and then draw around the outline on my wood to make a template. Then I would cut that out with a jigsaw or the bandsaw and then sand it flush. The Shaper Origin gives me the ability to cut out a template without me worrying about being as meticulous with cutting and sanding. That's the only difference. The rest of the process is the same. Now, one could definitely argue that it might not inspire others to start making, and I totally get that, but it was never the case for me. When I saw other YouTubers using a CNC, I knew that someday I would have saved up enough to get one myself. It was as inspiring to me as if they did it any other way. The second type of comments around this is that because I'm a YouTuber, I get the tools for free. In some rare cases, that is true. Most of that is regarding lasers in my case. But I never got them for free, however. I had to work for them. Free would be getting a tool that requires me to do absolutely nothing in return. And that has never happened. Except for Dust Mask. But even they wanted me to post a link in the description. I didn't, however. But if I look around my workshop, I've invested in most of my tools myself, by working and upgrading. Especially the Shaper Origin, that was expensive. With that said, there are always other ways of doing things in woodworking. I'm not trying to put someone off by using the Shaper Origin or the Festool Domino. It's just tools I spent a lot on after saving money to buy them. It's not the correct way of woodworking by any means, because there is no such thing. So to the people who post those types of comments, get your nose out of your mom's underwear drawer and get to work. Fun fact, I actually read that arguing about woodworking is a bigger hobby than woodworking. I don't know where, but someone actually measured this thing. With that rant out of the way, I used the Shaper Origin to cut out a template for the leg. But after doing one template, I realized it was too short. The bench, that is. So I threw it away, redrew the bench and made a new one. Now, a template is a good thing to replicate 2 or more parts to become identical, and if I really like the end result or if a customer would want to order the same bench, I already have a template for it, and that will make the process a lot quicker. Since I already had the Shaper out, I had all my angled pieces cut with it. The front leg is angled inwards and so is the back leg. That means the stretcher between the legs has 2 individual angles. So, on the topic of not using fancy tools, I used my digital design to create some 3D printed items that would let me cut some of those angled pieces. If anyone wants to make this bench, these jigs are included in the file. It's just a quick but maybe wasteful way of using 3D printing for woodworking. I don't know. I could just measure the angle, but that always opens up for mistakes. This is just dead accurate to the design. And I also added some slots in the jig to draw the line for where the dominoes go in later. I also had 2 long stretchers cut to connect the legs and support the seat. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. Not only are they a supporter of what I'm doing, they're also awesome at making PCBs, PCB assemblies, 3D printing and CNC machining on request. You simply upload your design to their website, they will quote you and send it out to you. Pretty fantastic. Thanks to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. So here's that other fancy tool that makes life easier. I was actually debating doing mortise and tenon for this bench. It would have been the better way, I suppose, but I ended up thinking that I just couldn't be asked. This was easier and quicker, and it would probably be enough to hold it together for a long time. So wherever there was a need, I inserted a domino. It isn't as easy as just plugging it in and playing though. You need to mark out the locations, and that actually requires some thinking. And apparently I didn't think, so what happened was I made holes for the domino where they shouldn't be. And if you know the domino, there's a setting to make the holes for the dominoes wider, which I did on these particular dominoes. And that also meant I couldn't use the dominoes to plug the hole. So I made my own. It will be on the back behind the stretcher, so no one will ever see it. As someone who is posting about woodworking online, you ought to think I would be extremely confident in my woodworking. I'm not. I still freeze when someone asks me to buy something I've made, and I think, I can't charge for this, it's not good enough. It's the imposter syndrome having a tight grip around me. So far I've protected myself with saying I don't have time taking on clients as I'm doing this content thing. But truth to be told, I could have just done both at the same time. I've also told myself that since everything I do is basically a prototype, I only do things once because I couldn't really post a video making a bench and then a week later make that same bench again. But if I really think about it, that's what a lot of woodworkers do anyways. Make things once. So maybe I will try to get over this imposter syndrome at one point and start actually selling something, but for now, this bench is for me and my family to enjoy, and therefore some of the pressure is off. But not the pressure of a glue up, that's always there. I drew this bench with the dimensions of lumber available to me in Sweden in mind. I did that to make this as easy as possible to make. Outdoor furniture is usually really expensive, even though they sometimes just consist of construction lumber. And therefore I think this is the place to make money as a woodworker. especially getting ready for the spring and summer when everyone wants new furniture. So why is it that outdoor furniture is often bulky, heavy, almost impossible to carry? I really don't know, but I would like to change it. I mean, Adirondack chairs became a thing and a lot of people like the look of them. Personally, I don't, but also they're so heavy. I did encounter an issue with my seat. I had gone through all the trouble of adding insert nuts on the underside. That was actually totally unnecessary for this build. But then I realized that it wasn't really enough to keep the seat down. It kind of wobbled as it wasn't perfectly straight. So I decided to force it down with dowels and glue, making the insert nuts and machine screws a waste of time. I could have just used dowels for all of it. I used some of these dowel pins to mark the location, and they come in handy for stuff like this. The bench was finished with an outdoor finish from Rubio Monocoat. This was kind of a demand from my wife, since we have the same color in the stable we built. I couldn't argue. I just did what she wanted. That sounds a bit submissive when I think about it, but I aim to please, and a lot of the time I fail even though I try, so when there's an obvious win like going with the color that she wants, then it's an easy choice. So when I label the bench and when I say I made this, it should actually be we made this, because as I said before, the toughest critic, but also someone I trust to give me advice on design. Before I could enjoy my coffee outside, we replaced the old deck with a new one. The old one just didn't cut it anymore. Then I placed my new bench, the sun came out, and now I could enjoy that cup of coffee. I like the simple design of this bench, but mostly I like that it isn't bulky. And for you, you need to make up your own mind on it, but it doesn't really matter what you think. The main thing I think is that we don't need to make outdoor furniture with thick and bulky material, do we?